All right, so JLo's getting another divorce. This is 4.5 times. So the first was Ojani Noah, a waiter at a Cuba restaurant in Miami. Then there was Chris Judd, then Mark Anthony, then Ben Affleck. And the latest news, as of August of 2024, Bennifer is actually getting divorced again. What happens in cases like Bennifer, where there are high net worth individuals that are getting divorced? Hi, my name is Kristen Wolf, and I'm a family law attorney here in the state of Connecticut. Today, we are going to be breaking down the latest news regarding Jennifer Lopez and her most recent divorce. So, on August 20th of 2024, TMZ reported that Bennifer filed for divorce without attorneys. Apparently, this has been going on for quite some time, and there's a lot of differences that they are both going to need to settle. For example, who's going to buy the marital home for $68 million that they bought? And when it comes to cases like this, it's the assets and income that become the biggest issues of what we have to resolve through divorce. Now, there are anonymous sources that are saying that the marital woes are so bad that Bennifer isn't even talking to one another. And let's just talk about why that's terrible. If you aren't talking with one another, then how are you going to resolve any of your differences, especially if you don't have an attorney? In the article, the source was quoted saying they would barely speak to each other during what was supposed to be the happiest time of their life. He sold her on him being a changed man, and that lasted a very short time. So clearly, these issues have been going on for quite some time. But here's what's most likely going to happen in this case. Most likely, a prenuptial agreement or a prenup has been signed. If that's the case, then the majority of their assets are already going to be disposed of in accordance with the prenuptial agreement. That's the benefit of getting a prenup. If they didn't have a prenup, well, then it might get a little bit sticky. Now, they have to decide who's going to get which asset and who's going to be paid out for their portion of the asset and what portion is that person entitled to. So here's an additional little tidbit about a prenup. Typically, a prenup divides assets by whether they're marital or separate property. Anything that's considered marital and is usually spelled out or listed specifically in the agreement is going to be subject to division through divorce. Anything that is separate property will continue to be separate property through divorce. Now, the caveat to that is whether or not the couple has actually followed the terms of the agreement and kept all separate properties separate, or has intermingled it so that it now becomes marital property and subject to division. That's when things start to get messy. So usually in the state of Connecticut, you're going to wrap up a case even like this within 9 to 12 months. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, sometimes it takes a little bit less, but it's highly dependent upon the circumstances. With JLo and Ben Affleck, I would assume that they had a prenup going into this. And they don't have any kids that are under the age of 18 that they have to establish a custody plan for. So that takes a huge portion of litigation out of the divorce. So if you know somebody that's facing divorce, or you yourself are, please watch the rest of our videos on our site or give us a call so that we can set you up with a consultation and we can come up with a comprehensive game plan that's catered to your specific needs. And besides, have you ever argued with a woman?